in, right? Is that what we're talking about? Okay. Is it hot in here to anybody other than me?
A hair warm.
I'm not hot.
You're not?
Do you want to turn that fan on? Is it on?
No, it's okay. Because
Because
I hear it. No, it's distracting. I'm going to leave the door open until people start getting here. When people start walking into offices, we'll shut the door.
Okay.
Okay?
We are live on Facebook.
Hello, Facebook. Good morning on this beautiful
Good
Friday.
morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Sarah Brooks is in here. It's myself, Connie Little, and Tiffany Cooch. We're happy to be here.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So we're going to go live on the TuneIn app. You tell us when you're ready.
I'm going to fade out. We are live on TuneIn. Good morning.
Good morning. JoCo in the morning here on Friday morning here with Connie Little
And Tiffany Cooch.
and our special guest Sarah Brooks this morning. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. I know you're running on a little bit of sleep, so thank you for being here this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. And I know you've got a big event coming up this weekend.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yeah? You want to go ahead and share that with us?
Sure, it's the Small Town Bridal Show. We're at Cleveland Conference Center.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be from noon until 4.
Okay.
And all the brides can come out and get their planning done. We've got DJs, we've got caterers, we've got cakes, we've got all kinds of stuff. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a one-stop shop.
Yep.
So
mhm.
anybody who's planning a wedding can go by the Cleveland Conference Center from 12 to 1 on the 14th.
Mhm.
Is it the 14th? No, it's just the 14th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that Saturday or Sunday?
That's Saturday.
Okay, so that's Saturday. I have no idea what day. Oh yeah, it's Friday it's Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the
It
13th.
is.
Oh my God! So before we get into the bridal show, Tiffany and I have to share something because
Okay.
this happened yesterday, and I am blown away. So you ready for a really fun story?
Uh-oh.
Tiffany calls me yesterday, and she went over to the Stampede Harley Davidson store.
Go talk to Wendy.
And what did you find when you got there?
So Wendy had her friend's cat had kittens, and she didn't want the kittens. The kitty
Right.
didn't want the cat didn't want the kittens, and
Right.
so she only really attached to one of them and kind of left these other 3. And so they waited like 6 hours, and the mama cat didn't come back. And so here Wendy had brought these kitties, these brand new, super tiny. Did you see them?
Yeah.
You just saw the pictures,
I got
right?
the picture. Yeah.
So super tiny kitties in the Harley Davidson dealership, in a box with a heated blanket and there's evaporated milk and bottles, and she was all ready. She needed to find somewhere for them to go, and
Right.
quick.
Right.
And so luckily she told me, and I was like, Connie Little.
Because I'm the
Feral cat
crazy
lady.
I'm the crazy cat lady, right?
So I call Connie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Connie, we got to save these kitties. And so Connie
So-
put her cape on.
I contacted the lady who wears the cat cape, and her name is Maria Wallace, and she is head of Feral for Life. So what she does is she rescues feral cats and then tries to place them in their forever home. So typically in barns, people with a lot of property, such as that. So she raced over there, and she has a brand new baby. I don't know if you know that, but she has a brand new
No.
baby. It's probably, I don't know, I think he's a month old, something crazy like that. So she raced over there, she put her cat cape on, and raced over to Stampede and found a mama cat, a nursing mama cat, that would actually take these babies. So she sent me a picture last night of the mama cat and those little babies just nursing
Let's
away.
show the audience.
Yeah.
Aww.
Let
Oh.
us see this.
So this is so cool. So our
This is
special is it on there? So our special announcement for today is that if you need feral cats, it is baby birthing season in the cat world, right? So if you need feral cats, please contact Maria Wallace. And if you don't know how to get in touch with her, send a message to here on JoCo, and we will connect the two of y'all because she is trying to find places for a lot of new kitties. Yeah, in the Metroplex. So again, Maria, amazing. So she put her cat cape on, went and rescued those babies, and put them in their temporary home so they can get healthy and big and be placed in a forever
they were
home.
hours old.
Isn't that
Little
crazy?
bitty,
Isn't that crazy? Sarah, how does that make you feel?
That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy
I know,
inside.
right?
Little
Aw.
kitty story.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
So I'm going to get Maria to come on the show, depending on how she deals with her baby. But she's going to have to come on the show and tell us a little bit more about Feral for Life and see if anyone else out there is looking for kitties
Yes.
to go into their barn. Because I have adopted 5, and
My.
4 of them now live in my house.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right? They're supposed to be in the barn, and they've decided to come inside. So it's too much fun. I am the crazy cat lady, but it's okay. Never thought I'd be that, but I am today. So anyway, so I had to digress and talk about that. I hope you didn't mind.
No, not at all.
Thank you,
Not at all.
Sarah.
That's a good story.
That's a
to
feel-good
start out
story
with.
on Friday the 13th,
Yes,
isn't it?
absolutely.
Thank you, thank
Absolutely.
you. So tell us what part you play at the bridal fair.
I am the creator, owner, coordinator, you name it. I'm the one who dreamed it up and made it happen.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yes, ma'am.
How long did it take for you to put this all together?
This show in particular, I've been planning it for an entire year.
Yeah.
This is my third one that I've planned. The first one I planned and it went down and it was a huge success in 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
That's amazing.
that was a lot to do in 3 months.
Yeah, that is.
And then the second one, it took me 6 months. So.
That's amazing. Here's the website.
Oh, very cool.
So it's called
Yeah.
Small Town Bridal Shows.
Mhm.
Bridal Show, not plural. Yeah. So Small Town Bridal Show. So Tiffany's going to put the website on within the comments so that they can go to the website and look and see what vendors are going to be there. Is that right? What's all on the
I don't have a
website?
list of vendors on there. It's got pretty much like the history of, how it got started, why I started it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you go to the Facebook page, there are vendor spotlight posts.
Oh, very
You
good.
can see a few of the vendors that are going to be
So go to Facebook, just type in Small Town Bridal Show
there.
in Facebook, and then it will take you to your page.
Yes, ma'am.
That is fantastic. So you put this all together, but you also have a talent as well, right?
I have a couple.
Yeah, she has a couple. Yeah,
My main one, my passion is photography.
right, right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So how long have you been doing photography?
About 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, off and on.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So what do you specialize in? Is it brides or something else?
Well, honestly, I don't have a whole heck of a lot of experience with brides. But,
Yeah,
yeah, it is people like portraits and stuff like that. Just-
very good.
yeah.
Do you prefer to do individuals or families or?
Individuals are usually easier to work with. You
Yeah.
know, it's easier to direct one person than it is multiple.
Right. I can totally see that. You see all these families get together and there's like 20 of them and you're like, okay, come to your left, go to your right.
Yeah.
Sit down, stand up, smile.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm horrible with names, so I'm like Christina on Grey's Anatomy. You're number 3 over that way.
That's awesome. That's
Very
fantastic.
cool.
So can you give us a list of some of the vendors that you've actually contacted to be a part of the Small Town Bridal Show?
Let's see, offhand, I left my list in the car. But
That's okay. That's okay.
Let's see, there is Southern Flair Photography. He is a returning vendor. He was at the last show.
Mm-hmm.
There's TLT Entertainment. He's a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Let's see, we're going to have a concession. And I cannot remember for the life of me the name of their business right now. But they're an amazing catering company.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, there is How Sweet It Is. There's a cake
The
company.
bakery in Alvarado. I love them. Teresa and Samantha.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to them. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Samantha that I talked to. She's
Yeah.
a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Let me think. Who else? There's a few other places. Like, there's Stellar Rentals. They're providing our tablecloths for us.
Uh-huh.
Stellar Rentals are amazing as
Very
well.
good. Yeah. Do you have
um,
any of the wedding gown people out there?
Yes, I've got Brides and Beyond.
Brides and Beyond. Where are they
Yeah.
located?
They're in Cleveland. They're
There.
literally right down the road from where we're going to be at.
Very good.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah. So, if you see a dress that you like at the show, you can just run down the street and go try it on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So do they get discounts if they come in? And
Some of the vendors do offer deals that you can only find at the shows.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fantastic.
That's
So
gonna be so cool.
I know. So it's a one-stop shop for all your wedding needs. I kind of like that. And the fact that they can possibly get a discount on some of the services, that's even better, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, are you doing any giveaways or anything like that?
Yes, I'm doing, let's see, I think there's 3 or 4 really cool door prizes. There's a personalized mug, a personalized wine glass. I think one of them says, "Does this ring make me look engaged?"
Oh, how funny.
It's so cute. It's so cute. Excuse me. Let's see. The TLC Entertainment DJ, he's giving away one bottle an hour
Uh-huh.
of Hell's Half Acre vodka.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
That'll
huge.
help.
Yeah.
Hold the wedding.
That'll help. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just for the bride and the groom, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Help
either
them.
Right.
either the bride after a hard day of planning, or it could be like a gift to the groom.
Right.
You know, for the wedding.
Oh, that's a clever idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Give him that and a pair of socks so he doesn't get cold feet.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
that is so
I
funny.
like that idea.
I'm sure you've heard all kinds of little things to do that's clever words, clever on the, the
Oh, yeah.
idea of getting married.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've heard lots of cute ideas that.
Give him a pair of socks so he doesn't get cold feet.
Yeah.
I love that. Does this ring make me look engaged? I love that. You got any other ones that you can share with us?
Let's see.
Have you heard any, Tiffany? No?
No.
Yeah?
Um.
That's funny. If anybody has any...
No, but I gave Ryan a pair of alpaca socks at Christmas.
Because you want alpacas?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because I want to show him that there's a purpose to have them.
If we get these
We can
alpacas,
make
look,
socks.
we can have socks. That's right.
But yeah, so he'll never get cold for
So-
anything.
Yeah. So is there anybody on Facebook that has any ideas to give the bride and the groom as they get married? Because that's fairly new. I don't know. It's tradition now that the bride gives something to the groom and the groom gives something to the bride the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
Has that always been? That has not always been like that.
I didn't give
I didn't give my husband anything. I was like, hey, you get me. That should be good enough, right? And I get you. That should be good enough, right?
Yeah.
I don't think every bride and groom does it. I think it's just like
But I think it's a great idea,
gesture.
though.
You do? It's just another expense. I just don't like to spend money.
My husband doesn't like to spend money.
I
either,
know,
so.
right? But it's fun to. I love getting gifts,
you know.
but yeah.
Have
it's
you
just
ever read
another
that is it the 5 love languages or whatever?
Yeah, the 5 love. Yeah.
Have you taken the test?
Yes. I don't know what I am. I can't remember. Have you?
I have half. Like I think I'm a. What is it?
Have you taken that,
Buy
Sarah?
me stuff. That's what it
haven't.
is. Buy me stuff.
So you like gifts?
I like gifts.
I think I'm the one that likes. I'm a giver, so I like to give then receive. What is that called? I like. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
I mean,
5
I
love
say
languages.
that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the book. I need to read the book and take the test
I know, right?
before
What
I
are
speak
the 5
about
love-
it.
What are
That's
the
what I
5
need to
love?
do.
Who knows what the 5 love languages are? What are the 5 love languages? Sarah, do you know? Have you ever done that?
I have not.
You haven't? It's a really good book. It's a great tool.
Right.
That's what I hear. I've heard a lot about it. I have a friend who I think he read it like 3 times or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
You get
Yeah.
something different out of it every time.
Just trying to figure
One
out
of
which
those.
one he is so he can figure out how to treat other people, right?
Yeah.
That's the most important part about it is how do you treat other people? What are their love languages so that you can feed their needs? Yes?
Okay.
Yes or yes? Yes. Uh-huh. Well, it's not telling me what the 5 love languages are. The 5 love languages. If anybody knows what they are, put them in the comments below. If you're on Facebook listening, watching, viewing, that would be awesome. But that's
I'm
important.
gonna find them.
Tiffany's on a mission. She's going to find them. That's crazy. So tell us a little bit more about what's happening this weekend. So that's one day. You come from 12 to 4. You get entered into a drawing to win some fabulous prizes. You could end up with a bottle of vodka. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
And then, do they have tuxedos or anything there? Didn't you say?
Let's see. I wasn't able to find a tuxedo place. The Brides and Beyond, they said they can get them. They just don't have them in the store.
Right.
So I told them not to go to a whole lot of trouble. But,
Right.
you know, we will have live models there. So
Oh, good.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll have real people wearing the
Yeah.
dresses.
So what made you want to do this?
Honestly, I was sitting there at my job. I worked at the Burleson Rec Center,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just sitting there going, okay, how can I help bring in revenue? And I also worked for a photo booth rental company.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my boss at that company, he told me once that, you know, most of our business we got from bridal shows.
Oh, wow.
And I thought to myself, okay, I'm a photographer, and there's been times where I thought, you know, it'd be just so awesome to go to a bridal show
Right.
and get business that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked into it, and it's like $1,000 for a 10 by 10 booth.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
insane. So I'm going, okay, let's see, we've got florists here in Burleson, we've got coordinators are everywhere, photographers are everywhere.
Right.
I mean, there's venues here in Burleson. I'm going, why not have a bridal show?
There you go.
So I contacted people and I put feelers out and everybody was interested. So I'm like, hey,
That's
why
awesome.
not? Let's do it.
And you've been planning it for a year, so you obviously got a lot of people interested. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you, Sarah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, do you still work your 2 jobs? Do you still work for them?
I don't work for the rec center anymore.
No. Was that the brick or is that
Yeah.
another? Okay.
Yeah, it was the brick.
Yeah.
Let's see, now I'm kind of between regular primary jobs.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still work for the photo booth rental company. I've got a part-time job with PCC, and I'm just kind of doing what I can at the moment.
Right. You
I'm
doing
all
what?
about that.
Yeah, you're doing what you want. That's awesome.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
right.
That's kind of what Tiffany and I do too.
That's what I thought. I mean, you know.
We do what we want.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing
I'll
wrong
do
with
this
that.
in the morning, and then sometimes I'll do hair in the afternoon. And
Yeah.
I have to be back home with my kids by 3, so you know I like to be home and have the house picked up and everything, and have a little me downtime before they come home at 3:30 and 4:30. So
Yeah,
Right.
I hear ya.
I schedule that 3
Yeah.
o'clock.
Now, do you have kids?
No.
No kids. Are you married?
Nope.
Nope. She's gonna plan her own wedding. You know, have you heard though that women actually will plan their weddings before they even find the groom?
Oh, I've
And
been
it's
planning my wedding since I was 5 years
Have
old.
you? Yeah. Yeah,
I am
it's
a
totally
girly
acceptable.
girl. I've told myself that if I'm not married by the time I'm 40,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have a ceremony. I'm gonna marry myself
There you go.
until
Hey,
death
I
do I
saw
part.
that. I saw a girl do that
Yeah.
on something. I think
Yeah.
that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. I see nothing wrong
I
with
mean,
it.
it's, you know.
You gotta love yourself or you can love somebody
Yes.
else. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that'd be fun. We'd come to your wedding. How about that?
All right, that
Yeah.
works. Until death do I part.
There you go. I love it. So you can
Love
get your
it.
cake at How Sweet It Is Bakery and have a big old wedding.
Yeah.
There you go. That works for me.
Good morning, Derek Taylor. How are you, sir?
Hello, Derek Taylor.
The banner's down in here, and it's a lot nicer.
The banner's down.
Remember he was talking about the
Oh, that
the
bothered him.
sash on
Yeah.
the pole.
Yeah. You didn't like the candy
It's just
cane?
because it wasn't. He's OCD. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
alright.
That's okay, Derek. We're right there with you, buddy.
We're gonna get a new banner.
Yeah, we're gonna put that up. Kevin messaged last night. He's muddling through. So Kevin, still lots of prayers and thoughts go out to you, Kevin Hinkle, Sasquatch. So yeah, he and Tina both. So, yeah,
Oh, it was ribbon. Thank
it was
Thank
ribbon.
you, Derek.
Yeah, it was ribbon. So this is going to be an exciting weekend. So how many people do you expect to have arrive at this facility?
Around 300 is where the
Wow.
invite page is at right now.
Wow. Now is admission free or is there a fee?
There is a small fee. It's $2 a person.
$2.
Mhm.
Oh, that's nothing.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and 12 and under is free. So.
Oh, there you go. So $2 a person to get in there and look at all these different vendors that could possibly help you with your most important day of your life.
course,
One of
yeah.
the most important days of your life. You know, do you look at it that way? Do you feel like the wedding
do.
is the most important day of your life?
I do. I
Yeah.
mean, girly girl, well, especially like me, you know, this is the day you've waited for your whole life.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean,
that's very cool.
I feel it's the most important day of your life. I mean,
Right.
it's the day that you commit to the, you know, your love and,
Aww,
you
that's
know.
so sweet. The day you commit to your love.
Did you have a big wedding?
Not really. No. I had one attendant, which was my sister, and then my daughter. She was 5 at the time, so she stood up. Was she 5? Was she 3? No, she was 5. Almost 5. She was 5 days away from being 5. I can't remember. It was such a long time ago. No, it was a small ceremony. We had it at the University of Dallas chapel. We were the
Yeah.
last wedding in that chapel. It was beautiful.
Awesome.
The very last wedding, and it was
That's special.
the weekend of Thanksgiving, so all the family was already here, so it made it really convenient. But it was so funny. After the ceremony was over with, I was standing out in the hall, and I just busted out crying. I was like, "What is?" My husband was like, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "I don't know if I did the right thing." I don't know exactly what I meant by that.
Crying is
But yeah.
releasing resistance every time. So you were just probably just
I was a little
overwhelmed,
stressed
and
out.
it just kind of all came out at once.
Right.
That happens to me a lot.
Right. But 28 years later, I guess I did
I
the right
love
thing,
that.
right? So,
There you go.
yeah, I love him. So, Mr. Little, You're awesome. Yeah. But I think anytime you make that huge commitment, that's a lot of stress on a person. You know, they
Yeah.
say planning the wedding is the most stressful thing, one of the most stressful things you can do in life. And then when it's all said and done, you're like, oh my God, thank God that's over.
Yeah.
And then there's those that can get a wedding planner, and then there's those that want to do everything on
Right.
their own. And this little small town bridal show, I think is amazing because then, you know, it shows everything right here that you can get
Right.
for your wedding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't have
Yeah.
to venture out all over
Right.
to
Right.
plan a wedding. You can everything's right here now because Burleson and Johnson County have grown so much
No
that
doubt.
now you can just get everything right here.
Right.
One stop shop.
Right. And if you have 300 people, approximately 300 people coming through there, that's amazing. How many did you have last year?
Last year, I think grand total it was around 200.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're going to grow by 100
Yeah.
plus more people. That's
Yeah,
that's
fantastic.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you stay in touch with any of the brides that booked their events, or did you get any business out of it with your photography?
No, I didn't advertise my photography, with any, but photographers are usually the first to fill up.
Hmm.
And, you know, I don't want, like, 10 photographers in a way.
Right.
You know?
Sarah's a
Too many.
giver. She's promoting everybody else's business before her own. So
that's
that's really
amazing.
commendable of you. So
Yeah.
thank you, Sarah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
anybody who has the opportunity to work with you, you're always going to put them first.
Of course.
That's awesome.
Of course.
I love that. Oh, that's really cool. So when people get in there, so it's $2 a person to get in. They get in there. Do they have the opportunity to just walk around and visit with the different booths, different people, and try to find the personality that fits them best? Not to mention the budget. So I'm assuming that most brides that walk through there are on a budget. They have a dollar amount that they can afford to spend, and that's it, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think the maximum versus minimum budget is? What do you think their range is right now?
I think they could probably go on as little as a $5,000 budget, and I mean, as far as yeah, the maximum, the sky's the limit, probably.
right? I think I spent a total of $500 on my wedding.
Really?
28 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Now my daughter, when she got married, it was like $7,000.
Of course.
But we did a lot of stuff ourselves. We didn't hire out anybody. But some people have been known to spend hundreds of thousands of
I
dollars
know.
on weddings,
I
right?
know, yeah.
Yeah. So you can go as little or as much as you like.
Mhm.
That's crazy,
Pretty much. It all
Yeah.
just depends on how extravagant you want it.
right? Do you think most brides actually have money set aside for their weddings?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, usually, you know, getting engaged is not really something generally you expect.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like I've ever been engaged before.
Right.
But,
Right.
um,
You will be someday, Sarah.
Yeah.
Just keep the faith, girlfriend.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. She's gonna be famous after this. Sarah needs a partner, a soulmate. Right? Is that what you're looking for? Is a soulmate?
Yes.
Yeah. Sarah needs a soulmate.
Wait,
Yeah.
how old are you? Do you mind me asking? I shouldn't ask that, should I?
That's so rude.
I'm an old woman. I'm 35.
Oh.
You're not either. Whatever. I'm 38. Whatever. Some days I'm married.
I'm old enough to be your mother.
Well, you don't look it.
Well, thank
I
you.
know, right?
Thank you. It's that tea tree oil, I tell you.
That magic stuff.
That magic
gotta
stuff.
be.
Right?
Gotta
Thank
be.
you. Thank you, Sarah. That's amazing. But yeah, some women wait their whole lives. Now, back in the day, the fathers of the brides would actually have a dowry set aside for them.
Mhm.
And my husband said one day, he said, you know, you didn't come with any chickens or goats. I said, no, I didn't, but we can always get those later, right? But that was the big thing back in the old days, is that, you know, the dowry included animals to build their farm with.
Mhm.
Nowadays, it's just like, please take her. She's too expensive. I don't want to take care of her anymore. She is now your problem, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
told my son-in-law when he decided to be with my daughter, I said, you know, she's crazy, right? And he's like, yeah, I know. I said, well, she's yours now. Take her or leave her. Don't bring her back.
No backseat.
Right. She's had all her shots. Go ahead and take her. She's fine. Yeah.
She's good to go.
And thank goodness he kept her. So
Yeah.
so far so good, right?
Well,
Yeah. Thank you,
good.
Brett. Thank you, Brett Bearden. Lindsay's not listening, so it's okay. She's at work. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't listen to work. She doesn't tune in.
No. Well, she can't. She's on
Yeah,
the floor,
she's on
so
the
she
floor.
can't have her phone with her. So that's okay, right?
Mhm.
That's fun. But I'm excited about your bridal show, your
Yeah,
bridal
me
fair.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the Cleburne Conference Center, do you have the address for that?
I
You know
will.
what it is?
I'll look it up.
Tiffany will look it up and she'll put it in the comments of the of this video so that everybody will know exactly how to get there. But it's the Cleburne Conference Center in downtown Cleburne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. I went there and saw a play. There it was the Carnegie Hall Players. I can't remember the name of the play, but it was really good.
It was at the Cleveland Conference Center?
Yeah, the one with Sarah and those two ladies that were
I know,
here,
they were
Sarah.
fun.
Yeah, they were so fun. So we went and saw the play there. So they're going to have an Elvis play at the Cleveland Conference Center, all shook up or something
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Have you been to one of the plays there?
I haven't.
You should go. It was a ton of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know there's a theater. The theater, I think, is
Yeah.
right next to the
Yeah.
room where we're going to be at.
Yeah, so the conference center, the big room,
Mhm.
and then if you go out there like you're going to go to the middle of the conference center, you just take a right and it's right next door to the
Oh, okay.
that big room. So there's a big theater in there
Cool.
with the stage and everything.
Sweet.
Yeah, and they're always looking for people to be a part of that. So if you have any kind of acting abilities, you could go audition for the next play. Sarah's like, I just might do that, girl.
I might. I don't know how well my acting is. But
You never know until you try, right? Right? I think people when they step outside their box and they try new things and different things that it helps them grow.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, you decided to put together a bridal fair.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you, when you first got into it, were you just like, oh, this will be a piece of cake? Did it overwhelm you at any point in
Yeah.
time? It did?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. How did you deal with that?
I just pushed right through. I mean, I've never been one to give up. You know, I get things set in my head, and I'm like, you know what, this is going to happen.
Good for you.
I mean, you can fight against me or you can be with me. Either way, I'm going to win.
Good for you, Sarah.
I like that.
That's a strong attitude. I love that. Who do you feel like inspired you most in your life?
In my life, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a hard.
Yeah.
Hard
Was it your
decision.
Hard question.
Was it your parents, or do you have any siblings?
I have one brother,
Yeah.
one real brother. I have 3 stepbrothers and a stepsister as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think honestly the people who inspired me most is probably the camp counselors that I met growing up. I had cancer when I was a baby,
Oh, okay.
so I'm a childhood cancer survivor.
Wow, congratulations.
And yeah, thank you, thank
Uh-huh.
you. Let's see, that would be 31 years this year.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yay,
So-
what a miracle.
So
I
you,
love it when miracles.
right? So you were 4 when you were diagnosed, 3 or 4?
I was 2, about to be 3.
Okay.
And
Got it.
I was 5 when I went into final remission. But I went to Children's in Dallas,
Right.
and they have a camp called Camp Esperanza. When, you know, cancer kids go there. And,
Right.
I mean, the counselors always taught us, you know, don't let anything stop you.
Good for you.
You know, not even cancer. Don't let cancer stop you even. I mean, if you've got a goal and a dream, fight for it.
Good for you.
And yeah, so that's pretty much what I live my life by now. So.
That's awesome. High five to you, Sarah. That's
She inspires me.
right. No doubt. I mean, that's huge, right? So what kind of cancer did you have? Do you mind telling
It
everybody?
was called rhabdomyosarcoma,
Uh-huh.
and don't ask me to break that down. I've looked it up several times. I think it means like in the tissue of or something like that.
Right.
I don't remember the exact meaning of the prefixes and suffixes, but it was in my sinuses under my eye.
Okay.
So not to the bone, but you know,
In the tissue
tissue.
of.
in the
Wow.
tissue. Yeah.
Interesting.
Correct.
There are all kinds of different cancers. I tell you. Well, you're a
Sadly.
survivor though, so that's huge. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So have you? So those camp counselors, have you stayed in touch with any of those, or do you go back at any time?
There's a couple of them that are on my Facebook.
Are
on
they?
my Facebook now that we caught up and everything, and I'm just so glad I did. There's one lady. She was there at the camp, but she was also my nurse
Yeah.
when I was being treated. Julie Steele.
Yeah.
She is an amazing lady and very patient because I've heard stories of where they tried to put my medicine in chocolate milk, and 30 minutes later,
Right.
they were wearing it.
Oh my goodness! You're like, I don't want that. Thank you. So did you go to that camp every year, or did you just go once or twice? How many years did you go?
I think I went, let's see, it started when I was 6 and it ended when I was 15. So.
Wow, that's a long time. So
Yeah.
you really got to know those people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's amazing.
It became my life, and life ended when I wasn't allowed to go anymore.
So at 15, you couldn't go back anymore?
Right.
16 years old, you couldn't go back?
Right.
Wow. Have you ever thought about maybe going and volunteering or helping them out?
I did once, actually. It just didn't work out too well for me. I don't know, I think there was too many memories, too much attachment for me.
Yeah, that's hard.
So.
Okay. So we've been talking for a long time. Let's go
have,
ahead and take
it's 7:32. We got to take a commercial. We got to give a shout out to our sponsors and partners and all that good stuff.
Right.
So we will be right back, guys.
With JoCo Community Radio. You good? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we have Daniel coming in right now, so let me go get him. Are you okay to stay, or do you need to go? You're okay to stay for a little bit longer?
Okay, I'm waiting now.
If you want something to drink, we've got some water.
Yeah, thank you. My throat's getting scratchy.
Is it? Well, mine does all the time. I think yesterday I ate a whole thing of Oh, you're fine, girl. You're good. It looks great on your camera. You're good. I promise.
Yeah, I understand. I work at a photo booth rental company.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and
So are they here too? Are they in Johnson County?
yeah, I live about 5 minutes south of here.
Yeah. Is the photo booth place in Johnson County?
No, the photo booth place actually we're based out of Plano.
Oh wow.
But I'm the only person on the Fort Worth side, so my boss lets me hang on to my booth.
Very cool.
So yeah, I used to have to like go to his house and pick it up. And go to my event.
Very neat.
But yeah, he asked me if I wanted to work last night. He said it's just a 2.5-hour event. And then I get there, he's like, oh, by the way, you're here till 10:30. I'm like, no.
Wow. That's
Does
amazing.
he already know?
Well, come on in. We're off the air right now. We're doing a commercial break. So, Sarah, you're going to scooch this way, and we're going to put Daniel right there next to you.
All right.
Okay?
Sarah, where have you been before? I've seen you.
Hi. I was thinking the same thing about you. I don't know. I used to work at Brick.
That's Brick. That's where it's at.
Okay.
I used to work out, but I'm in shape because Brown's in good shape.
I said that too. Daniel, you're going to sit right here. Right?
No, I'm going to sit behind the camera.
You
No,
are?
you're
You want
not.
to be on the camera?
No, I don't mind.
You're actually going to be on both cameras if you
Oh.
want to do that, right?
I'll just go ahead.
You're
Okay.
good. You're good.
No, I'm
You're
not.
great.
You're a mess. Okay, so.
Okay, I guess this goes to you while I'm thinking about it.
Oh, is that your check?
Well, it's your check now.
Oh, it's my check here. Thank you. Thank you. And then we just need to figure out what your commercial is going to say, and then we'll be
Yeah,
done.
we'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so, you know what? Yeah, you can stay there. All right, we'll go over here.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going to sit right there until Steven gets here.
Okay, so.
So you know Steven Hernandez?
I do not.
You do not?
No,
Okay.
the autism community is vast, so.
So you have a...
I have a 6-year-old daughter, so I have
Okay.
3 daughters, 12-year-old, 6-year-old, and a 7-month-old. And the 6-month-old 6-year-old has been up since 1 this morning, 1:30 this morning. But she's the autistic one. So you're hosting as well?
She's a
Yes.
guest, so Sarah Brooks is one of our
Good.
guests. Yeah.
Good. Don't embarrass me, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So here's some talking. If y'all have any questions or something you want to go off of
All right.
there's some stuff,
I like this. I love when people come.
And I'm sorry.
And he supports autism, so that's
know.
great. So this is what a connection we're going to be able to make here. This is fantastic. Can you give me my phone and my bottle?
Yes,
phone? And I've got a little bit of a cold, so I'm going to apologize now if I start coughing or what have you. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
That's-
Turn my phone off. Grab water.
Yes, please.
Wow.
Please do. All right. And Steven should be here at 7:45. So if y'all get your headsets on, we will come back on the air momentarily. And then when he gets here, I'll just go run down and let him in real fast. But y'all can keep talking. Is that good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Daniel, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Has it been a
We
good...
were still live on Facebook.
Oh, we were?
We are back on JoCo Community Radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Tiffany Cooch.
This is Connie Little We have our special guest with us this morning. We have Sarah Brooks.
Hi.
Hi. Who is doing all the arrangements for the bridal show in Cleveland this weekend. So thank you for being here with us.
Bridal show.
Right, and then we have Daniel with Honeybee Roofing.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Thank
Good
you, Daniel.
morning.
You have a wonderful radio voice.
Yeah.
That was,
Thank you.
yeah, did you
Love
hear
it.
that? Yeah.
Great.
The smooth sounds of Daniel with Honeybee
Yeah.
Roofing. I love that.
Let me do your roof.
I know, right?
So good, Daniel. Awesome, man. That's great.
That is awesome. So first and foremost, we want to thank you for being one of our brand new advertisers here on JoCo
Yeah.
Community Radio. We are so excited to help you grow your business organically through social media. So thank you for doing that. So
Well, you haven't cast your check yet, so don't thank me yet. So,
I'm sure it'll be just fine, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but we're excited about that, Daniel. So you'll hear his commercials within the rotation within the next 5 to 7 days. So
Beautiful.
that'll be fun. So thank you for doing that. So tell us a little bit of how you got started with your company. How long has it been in business?
This company's been in business for 2 years now, so we're entering that. And so I was actually in financing, banking for about 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so I started when I was 10, and so really it's just as the time kept going on, we really wanted to. I enjoyed working outside. I enjoyed helping people, and in corporate America was just something. It was not a good fit for me, and my tolerance levels were dropping for different things. So, anyways, construction, and this was a great opportunity. I have 3 daughters, and I want to be part of their life, not part of the organization's life.
Right.
So. Yeah, so that's really how we got started. So the other thing is that within the being exposed to construction throughout so many years of my life, there's something that's lacking, and that was integrity, moral compass, people that do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it, and that's
Right.
something we deliver on very strongly.
Right.
So
That makes sense, doesn't it?
it makes dollars make sense.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So what year did you start Honeybee Roofing?
So that'd be 2016. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
good deal. So
Yeah.
how many people do you have working with you?
We don't work. Yeah, so working with me, we have 5 sales representatives. Absolutely. So we're a small company.
Yeah.
So we'd rather be smaller. I don't want to be this conglomerate organization where you lose touch and you're not able to, get that high touch customer service and
Right.
see everything from every aspect.
Right.
So, absolutely,
Right, because the customer is the most important person.
absolutely.
Yes, and the customer's always right.
Not always, but we work
Close.
we work through that. We educate, and we sometimes there is opportunities out there, but we do everything we can to accommodate. But it's all about education and support and providing options.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you don't just do roofs, right?
What else would we do?
It says
Oh,
roofing, gutters, and windows.
oh! I thought you meant to do I sing and dance.
Yeah,
I was like,
do you
well,
really?
I mean,
you can
I-
do.
Friday.
I heard about the Cleveland Conference Center. I could my talent. I could be an actor there.
There you go,
So-
Sarah. Daniel's going to walk around and entertain everybody.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You
no.
can be the court jester.
And that's not the first time I've heard that. So, yeah, absolutely. We have 2 other companies we work with that are locally owned. They do gutters and windows, and so we provide those services as well. And we really try to be a one-stop shop. And but there's someone that's gonna, if they're not providing the quality and things that we expect from our co-partners,
Right.
we don't bring them on board. So,
Right. That makes sense, doesn't it? You want to work with people that are like-minded.
absolutely.
That makes sense. I love that. So tell us a little bit about your family. So you're married and you have 3 children,
I'm married. Yes, ma'am. I have 3 daughters.
right?
So for all the young men listening, I have land, a shovel, and a shotgun. So
Yes. Yes.
Coming soon, hogs. Yeah.
very, very simple. Yeah. So so we have
You're well prepared.
I don't know. I'm not mentally, but
Right. Right.
anyways, so my wife and I we've been married coming up on 8 years this end of this month. I'm sorry, not the end of this month, in a couple months. And then we've been together for some time before that. I can't remember when. It's too early. But we have an 11-year-old. She'll be 12 in May. We have a 6-year-old that she has autism. And then we have a newborn that was, just came back here in September. Completely planned. Completely.
No surprises
No.
at all.
No, never. So.
You're like, this is awesome. I planned this
Yeah.
all along.
Yeah.
I told my wife, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
I love it.
And she said, yeah, you too.
Yeah.
So, Tina Hinkle wants to know if you do metal roofs. Do you do metal
We
roofs?
do metal roofs, yes,
All
ma'am.
right. There you go, Tina.
There you have it.
What?
Yeah.
They do.
Okay,
And-
so Stephen Hernandez is actually downstairs.
Great, bring him
Is that
You
up.
want to
Okay.
go get him?
Yeah, so I'm gonna come get you. I'm gonna come get you, Stephen. On my way.
And if anyone listening, if they have any questions regarding their roof or process or something like that,
They can ask away.
yeah, please do.
Is
Yeah,
that his phone number? Do you have a website?
absolutely. It's going to be honeybeesroofing.com. So HONEYBEES roofing.com. We also have a Facebook. That's where the majority of our posts and things are going. But anyone is welcome to call directly and ask a question after the show. And but that's 817-668-6131.
817-668.
6131. Did I get that right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Very good. Very good. I'm getting it. I don't know why they have me on the computer. I'm not a computer savvy girl.
That's good. Control Alt Delete.
Control-Alt-Delete.
That's all you need.
That's
So-
it. Yeah. So, what do you have going on this weekend? Anything spectacular?
Chasing a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's fun.
Yeah, she is a bundle of energy. In fact, she's been up since 1:30 this morning. She went to bed around 9 p.m. So her mind is just very, very active.
I can relate. Well, I mean, I go to bed at 9 and I get up at 2.
But that's by choice.
No, not
No,
really. I
wow.
wake up at 2. I don't know what the deal is. Hi.
Awesome. So this is Stephen Hernandez, everybody.
Hi, Steven.
Hi, Stephen. We're so excited
Gotta
that
follow
you're
this
here.
guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Here's your headset. Do we have all the mics up, Tiff?
Do we have what we do now?
Okay, awesome.
Now we are.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Sorry,
My fault.
guys. Sorry.
And I need 2 turntables since I have a microphone. Yeah.
Right? Whoa. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we just brought Stephen Hernandez in, right?
Yes.
So thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having
And
me.
you have an RBI.
Yeah. So like therapy.
Fill me in.
consulting. Yes.
Yes.
So I do applied behavior analysis.
Uh-huh.
I've been working with children on the spectrum for over 16 years.
Mhm.
But yeah, we just do offer one-on-one sessions and in home right now, but eventually with the idea that we're going to open a center in Ellis County.
Very good.
And, yeah.
Which is also going to service Johnson County as well, right?
That's right. Yes.
That's
definitely.
awesome.
Fantastic, right?
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, so you help children with autism from all spectrums.
That's right. Yeah. So it is a spectrum. So you have individuals, like Temple Grandin says, you have people in Silicon Valley,
Mm-hmm.
like really high functioning, all the way to individuals that need, lifelong, interventions.
Right.
So yeah, it's we all ages, all levels of autism. So
Right.
there's 3 levels, and yeah, so
That's
we cover
awesome.
them all.
So, which is ironic that Daniel is here today because he has
Yeah.
a daughter
Well-
with autism, right?
Well, I heard he was going to be here, so.
So that's why you scheduled it?
Yeah.
You are so smart.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's hard to catch up with BCBAs, So.
That's crazy. So for the people that don't really understand autism and haven't been
Sure.
around people that have it, can both of y'all
Yeah.
kind of chime in and explain to us how that affects the child first and foremost, and then how it also affects the family?
So it is a lifelong, it's just lifelong.
Right.
And the deal is that, and every kid is different, so you have different levels of severity. But, it's just, if you're like level 3, which is like the most severe, just getting into schools, being able to maintain being in the school, without,
Right.
being removed, that's just something that, you have to work on. You have to, and just continual work, things of that nature, and just
Right.
working on life skills, and just getting their behavior to a level where the family can take them out to the community to go to a movie theater, to be able to sit at a restaurant. And while level 1, which is the other end of the spectrum, we work on a lot of social skills, a lot of things. So they have to work on things of that nature because they do have behaviors that are that set them apart. So whenever they do get in social situations, their hand kind of gets slapped because
Right.
at school they may be made fun of or bullied. So why would they put themselves out there?
Right.
So it's just one of the things that we want to expose them to, to positive experiences, and then show them that it's worth it to put them out, put themselves out there socially
Right.
to make a difference. Yeah. So
And how long have you been working with children with autism?
for 16 years.
16 years.
Yes.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So you've seen every spectrum. So explain the spectrum. How does it range?
Okay, when I started 16 years ago, it was broken down into Asperger's, which would be level 1 now, because now that's the DSM-5 they've changed the levels.
Right.
So Asperger's would be level 1, which is like the highest functioning. Level 2 probably would be like PDD-NOS back then, which is pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, which is a long acronym.
Right.
But that just shows that they may have like a deficit in one of the areas or two of the areas of, and the deficits of autism are social, repetitive restrictive behaviors, and communication. Those are the main deficits of autism.
Daniel's shaking his head yes.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So then, and then level 3, which is like the most severe, which would be turned back than just autism.
Mm-hmm.
They have deficits in all 3 areas.
Wow.
Most likely, yeah.
That's crazy. What is your daughter? What level is she?
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Daniel, you're fired.
No, so, Maya is very high functioning. So she will, she's very independent. She's very strong-willed. I don't know where she gets that from. And stubborn and good looking.
Yes.
Well, I say that's my daughter. But, however, it's the cognitive behavior. If, she's 6 years old and you say, Maya, how old are you?
Mm-hmm.
You won't get a response. And a lot of things are, you have to prompt her at times, even if you ask her how old she is or whatever. But if she wants something to eat, she'll tell you what she wants. I want loan. She has a large vocabulary, but it's by choice.
Yeah.
What she wants to do or whatever. As for the family, it's very strenuous because so the 11-year-old, she's going to be 12 here in a couple weeks. I'm guessing to go buy something.
Yeah.
Because
just a little something, right?
That's what says I love you, right?
Yeah,
So,
right. I know. Yeah.
But, so she's coming into her own and a lot of boundaries and everything. So it's hard for her, that's a struggle
Right.
because the 6-year-old is very, very mischievous. In a lot of ways, she's very much a 6-year-old.
Right.
But on the same side, there's a lot of behaviors that are not, that we're all adjusting to, on a daily basis, whether it's, there might be a meltdown, but someone that doesn't understand the spectrum or something, you're thinking, well, wow, your kid's just spoiled. No, she's just having a rough time right now. Please be loving and respectful, and let's just move forward.
Right.
The newborn, she doesn't know better yet, so she thinks she's entertaining. Like,
Right.
don't do that. But it's but I mean, so we recently just kind of partnered with someone. We work with, so in fact, Honeybee's Roofing, we are partnered with the Center for ASD in Crowley. I don't know if you're aware of them. So we actually, since they're a nonprofit, if anything comes from them, we actually will give them 15% of our net profit to kind of help the organization and help their bottom line as well. But anyways, from that, Lisa was able to help provide someone to allow us to go out for an evening. And just like 2 weeks ago was the first time my wife and I went out for dinner together in 7 months.
Wow.
Or maybe longer than that, yeah. So
That's
That's
amazing.
great.
And Lisa Lopez is an amazing individual.
Lisa Bornhouse.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Boltinghouse.
Lopez.
Boltinghouse.
Boltinghouse,
Yeah,
right.
that's
Lisa
the one.
Boltinghouse. Yes, sorry. I
There's a
messed
lot
up.
of name plugs for you, Lisa.
I know, right? Boltinghouse. Lisa Boltinghouse. Thank you. Yeah, with ASD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah, so there's a lot of so it is what it is.
Right.
We just deal with it, and it's crazy. We wouldn't trade it, but it is very challenging.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Hmm.
And hers is more like ASD is more like a school, right?
So she has different programs there. Though she does have a daytime school, and then she does have like an after school program, and that's where we partake. And stuff like that. So,
Very cool.
and then she also have, I believe, on Monday and Wednesdays, she has what's called Thrive, and those where families can come together and they can, the parents can separate, kind of go into a parent group, have a little bit of, idea sharing and therapy, and then the children are well taken care of in other areas, and then also they have sibling groups
Right.
where
That's
they,
awesome.
so the siblings can learn to adjust and understand that they're not alone.
Right.
That's
That's
awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Lisa, you're gonna have to put me on some payroll.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You have to give him a kickback.
No. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Just kidding. So, Stephen, tell us a little bit about this clinic that you're going to be opening up in Ellis County and how it's going to serve the community.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, we're starting out in home. Yeah, and then from there, once we kind of build up the clientele, then we're going to open a physical center somewhere in Ellis County, probably right over Waxahachie, and but at the same time still offering in-home services, and very much like the clinic that you're talking about, or the the place you're talking about. We're going to offer basically you could do 20 to 40 hours a week, so basically like as their school. But also we could do after school and things of that nature, and even weekends, and just so just offering one-on-one sessions, offering social groups, social group work, going out in the natural environment, and that's important because as a BCBA, it's great if I can get the child to do what I'm asking in a room with me, but if they can't do it at home, if they can't do it at a restaurant, they can't do it in the library, well, it's really not it's not effective. So the onus is on me to be able to have them generalize to all aspects of their life. So our our center is going to just really work on across the lifespan. I've been talking to some individuals about transitioning, because that's a really underserved part. Like once your daughter's ready to transition.
Huge concern.
Yes,
absolutely.
And it really is underserved. I met with Dangla Musa. She's the president of the North Texas Autism Association. And she was just saying that is like, there's no one really doing that. So, and it's very rare.
So back up. So transitioning, explain to me what that means.
So transitioning is like from the school setting, whenever they graduate from high school, like what do they do next?
Okay.
How do they transition into adulthood?
How do they transition?
Yeah, so that, and it can be very...
That is a concern, especially for parents. I mean, it's like, where do they go from here? That's
right. So, so even like I've worked with one young man since he was 8, and now he's 23. Oh, wow. And so we're working on, and he's level, I would say he's probably level 3, level 2, like, on the severity scale. And, but he's such a bright man, and like he works so hard, but his communication level is like lower, so kind of like, might get one-word mans, not full, full sentences. But we're job, training him, like, so like he's doing office skills, he's learning how to file in binders, learning how to file in cabinet, like do things of that nature, to where that we're making him, giving him some skills that give him the opportunity to go out into the environment and succeed. Right. So things of that nature. So, and it's just like it is a spectrum. So like there's young men that I've worked with that on Asperger's that now they're in college and they're doing that. So it's
So there's hope.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's what we want to convey. That
so
there's hope.
When somebody's diagnosed with autism or Asperger's, is it a condition or is it a disease?
Okay, that's great. But it's not a disease.
Okay.
So there's nothing communicable. Okay. There's nothing that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a disorder.
It's a disorder.
Yeah. So that's a
sensory dorsal.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yes. And I was not trying to.
No.
I was just like, I don't know.
I'm offended. I'm gonna put something on Facebook later. You might even get I might even do a hashtag. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
but that's a great question because that's a misunderstanding. Yeah, because
people don't know.
Yeah, people don't know. That's
They're
right.
not educated. They just assume.
Right.
So that's why you're in here. You're educating us, right? Sarah, are you learning anything from this? Yes. Thank you.
I am.
Thank you, girl. Yeah, because some people just don't know, and then when they see children who are acting out or what have you, they don't know how to respond to that. So
and it doesn't necessarily have to be an act out. It's also maybe just a different behavior. Yes. My daughter, she likes stubble beard and and different things, and so it's a soothing thing for her. Loud noise don't bother her, but you'll see kids walking around with headphones or whatever, and it really doesn't fit into that environment. However, it's
the noise and
right. There's a lot of things, and so it's really each child is different, and it's really us adjusting to them, not them adjusting to us, and providing opportunities. And like you were saying about the filing, like Maya has some amazing skills, but to carry on a conversation, not happening. You know what I mean? Really? Affection, it comes and goes, but it's it's on her, once again, her terms.
Kind of like a cat.
Yeah, you know what? She really is.
I mean, sorry.
So that's just like my kitty,
right? Yeah.
Well, I'm not
their decision.
Right. I'm not going to put her outside though. So
thank you. We appreciate that. But I mean,
the crazy cat lady in her coming out.
That's right. It is the crazy cat lady because it's all based on their terms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so she is compliant. There's some things, but there's a lot of things that she's okay with. It just kind of depends on her mood, and but a huge piece of it is, and for a lot of children on the spectrum, is structure, schedules, structures, and reinforcements, which can be very wearing. So my wife and I, we only had a few hours of sleep last night, so then to continue that behavior throughout the day, that's where that challenge comes in. Do you let her just kind of have her way, or do you reinforce and continue the focal? So.
That's right. And that's a good point about the structure, because because like children with autism, they tend to have OCD type tendencies. So for instance, like they may line up cars. So if you were to like move the car just a little bit, they may have a meltdown.
Really?
Same with like scheduling. So like if they go to I don't know, they go to breakfast at a certain time and then they transition to like playtime or whatever.
Right.
If you were to change it up a little bit, they may have a meltdown. Even like children or young individuals with Asperger's, they may like perseverate on a certain topic. They may want to talk about a train, and they'll keep talking about it ad nauseum to where like you're giving like social clues. You're like, okay, that's enough. Right. They don't pick up on it, and if you were to alter that, they may get frustrated. They may not melt down, but they may get frustrated and be like, okay, well, I was talking about trains.
We're still going to talk about this train.
That's right, exactly.
I'm just saying Thomas.
That's right.
Is a train.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. That's right. So basically, and what we do is that we work on desensitizing them from that. So basically, if the child is like lining up the toy, and it's hard, it's not an easy thing, but I may move it on purpose, and they may melt down, but we're going to work through it, but show them that it's okay. And over time, if we keep doing that, they become flexible, and that's what we want, because because you're exactly right. I mean, it's like it's easier for us to kind of change than society, because society moves at a snail pace to be able to change society. So if we can basically alter them and get them flexible enough to be tolerant of change, because if you're at school and you're lining stuff up, these kids are going to, hey, there's some Hot Wheels, I'm going to go grab those, and that's just reality. Right. So we have to kind of, get them to where they're flexible enough to change.
So they really just have to accept that things are changing around them.
That's right. But it's hard
for me to accept sometimes.
And it's hard.
Seriously,
yeah, change is hard.
Yeah.
And for these kids, it's especially hard because they have a history of behavior of doing it for so long, and they just think that's the way it should be.
Right.
But in reality, like, we have to challenge them. And Temple Grandin, she talks about that. Basically, if we never offer a child a musical instrument, especially on the spectrum, then why would we ever expect them to play music? Like, we have to give them a chance. We have to let them try.
Right.
And but yeah.
Do they ever come to you and convey what they want? I mean.
Oh yeah.
All the time, right? Well, because you said when Maya's hungry, she tells you what she wants to eat.
Oh yeah, right? I've been here since 3 a.m. I want my iPad. I'm like, no, and I want my sleep. Is there an app for that? Because Daddy needs beauty rest and a lot of it. So, no, so yeah, there's there's scheduled. She's very flexible. So like for us, if you change something, she's actually very cool about it. Yeah. So it's a it's a blessing. Because we do have friends that it's like, nope, this is it. Yeah. But yeah, but yeah, she'll come to us and she wants to watch, a TV show, Pinkie Pie TV. That's My Little Pony. Great. Or she wants to go outside. I want to go swing. I want to ride, this or that. She'll tell you. She'll convey that. But once again, it's what's in her interest at that point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So what made you decide to get into this line of work?
Oh, wow. Well, I was a psychology major at University of Dallas. I heard that she got married there. So I was undergrad psychology major there. And which is funny because they, what we did was phenomenology, psychology, which is like the opposite of behaviorism. So it was almost like in our classes there, they kind of talked behaviorism down. So it was kind of funny I went that way. But there was a flyer in the Career Development Center just, looking for a behavioral therapist, and instead would train. So I got connected with some, Jason Tinkler's a consultant in Plano, and he's amazing guy, and he trained me, and there was also Barbie Blizzard, another consultant, amazing consultant. So worked under them and just started training. And what it was that, and I can tell you, it's like you start you see that you're making a difference. So I remember like the first time I got, we were working on a child that was nonverbal. We got him to say "mama" for the first time. And he was clear, "mama." Yeah. Brought mama into the room. I say "mama," and the joy and adulation on her face, the tears of joy. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Wow. So that sold me there.
That's impactful. And how old was this child when he first?
Oh gosh, he was probably 3 or 4.
That's huge.
Oh, it's very huge. Yeah. Well, and that's what we were just talking about yesterday. I was at a meeting for roofing, but her daughter.
Honeybee Roofing, thank you.
Honeybee Roofing. So, but no, one of her, she had 4 children, 3 boys and 1 daughter. The daughter was on the spectrum, but it was really that, you know, we were talking about how people take things for granted. You know, where my wife and I will see something, we're like, oh man, that's awesome. You know, she did this today.
Yeah.
You know, and where someone else would be like, okay, and, you know, that's good for you. My kid was doing that at
Exactly
2.
right.
Right.
But we celebrate that and cherish it because we understand that's another milestone, you know, of something moving the right direction.
Right.
Where a lot of people might take that for, you know, they
Yeah.
take it very much for granted.
Now,
So-
how old was Maya when she was diagnosed with autism?
Okay, well, so she was 2 years old when we took her, and so we took her to one doctor early on, and my wife just, you know, she was seeing things, and I was in denial, and took her to a doctor, and they're like, she's got some behaviors, but she's close, but she's not on the spectrum. I'm like, yeah, that's right. So this whole time I'm thinking speech delay. So, but what's interesting, and I don't want to start a craziness here, but I have videos and things of her and I singing together, talking. Then the shots came. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's where we saw a digression of, you know, behaviors and speech and cognitive behaviors. So then at that point, so I'm thinking, okay, she was starting her speech, she was talking to daddy, we were doing things, and now we're not even talking, you know, or making eye contact. So after that point, you know, my wife's like, honey, do you think, she didn't call me honey, but she said something else. But she, you know, we took her to Child Study Center at that point, and we were very fortunate. We got an opening, we acted fast, got her in, and then, you know, what Stephen was saying earlier, it's like everything she was lining up cars, she started spinning around, and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. You know, to that day, in that waiting room, I said she just has a speech delay, and when she's ready to talk, she'll talk.
Right.
And, but so she was 2. So we have been, and more credit to my wife than anyone, that she's been driving that, where we take her to appointments and different things, trying to really make sure that she's getting everything that she needs, because it's a lifestyle. It's you know, it's very, very much we're dedicated to that.
Right.
So.
So is that the average age is 2 that you would actually identify
Actually,
this?
no, that's pretty early, and that's good that you got the early diagnosis.
It's critical.
Yeah, it is, and you're exactly right. The earlier you can intervene, the better. You know, I don't know the exact average, but I know it's not 2. That's pretty early.
Right.
But yeah, probably about 4, I would imagine. You know, like somewhere
Really?
in there. Yeah.
So the sooner you catch it, though, the
Yeah.
better off you're going to be for
Yeah,
their
That's
long-term
right.
productivity, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of, and the reason I think why that is, there's a lot of denial. There's
Right.
like, you know, that it's just you like, you know, you want to
Yeah.
believe it's something else.
Yeah.
And also if you look at it, it's a like ABA itself, like in autism. I think the word autism is coined in the '60s, so it's not that old of a condition or something that we're aware of.
Right.
And when I started 16 years ago, the prevalency was 1 for every 150 births.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's 1 in 68, so it's more than doubled within
Really?
16 years. Now some say it's a better diagnosis is the reason, but I think it's just to double it. That's, I don't know. There's
So
something
do they
going
know
on.
what causes it or nothing?
No, there's no So you brought up it's a hot button.
It is.
Well, yeah.
Don't start calling in, folks. We're not.
Yeah. We're not giving out the phone number. It's okay, right? Yeah. It's because of this. Yeah.
Right.
But there is no definitive answer. There's a lot
Right.
of research being done. But so some, feel it's genetics. I think they've mapped 15% of the genomes of that that may cause it, but there's a lot unknown.
A lot of unanswered.
Yeah, and there might be some environmental factors, kind of what we're talking about there. And my BCBA official answer is that there's no definitive research showing that there's any link between shots, but there's a lot of stories like he has. So
Well, and then the argument comes up also. It's like, well, you go to some other countries, and you'll say, well, they don't. It's not as prevalent there as it is here. However, then the other comeback was like, well, maybe it's not diagnosed.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So it's I
it's medicine over. No, I can't.
over where in Dallas, you were pointing that way.
Well,
Where
I mean, that's why I'm just like,
over there. That's
you know what I mean?
that's geographic. I can't talk.
Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, ma'am, I do. So
That's
so
why I
let's.
pointed.
Yes, ma'am. Over there, yonder.
Yeah.
So, as an ABA center, one thing, and maybe with the people listening, so there's a huge struggle out there, and I don't know if there's movements in there, but insurance companies, you know, private pay is just astronomical for something like that. But not saying you're not worth it. Just, you know, if you have a coupon,
he's worth it, all right.
if you have a coupon or something, that would be great.
Yeah, Groupon.
Groupon. Yeah. But and that's a challenge for families as well. And it's not his fault, is it?
Right, no,
it's not yours.
Is it?
Okay. but you know, we've had to switch carriers multiple times because they will drop it because it's just, you know, it's so expensive for them to cover.
So where does RBI ABA, where does it fall within the insurance guidelines?
Yeah, so basically, we follow to be in network with all the major insurance carriers. So it's a work in progress. So we just started about 2 months ago. So it's a long process with insurance. So so far we've signed with Cigna. So they should be uploading us onto their network here pretty soon, and we're just in a waiting game with all the rest of them. Right. But he's exactly right. I mean, so 16 years ago, let's go back, 2001, zero insurance covered ABA in autism treatment. So they didn't see it as a
medical necessity.
Medical necessity, yes. So it was all private pay back then, which is, you know, so, I mean, there's, you know, I couldn't run a private pay, you know, program. It's just so expensive. It's astronomical, like he was saying. So it's a blessing that insurance has come around, but it's not perfect at all. It's not even close.
It's very difficult to get approved. It's difficult to get approved. You know, maybe you get approved for 20 hours when really the child needs 40, then maybe 30 minutes of speech in a 40-hour week. And it's like, okay, you know, and there's a lot of steps you have to go through to get it approved for insurance to pay. So, you know, there's a lot of struggles out there for the families, and honestly, a lot of people just get beat down and they just say, you know, we'll just deal with it. And it's not. And maybe it's not worth it, but maybe they don't have the mental capacity or the pure energy just to continue the good fight. Right. And so, you know, props to my wife for that. You know.
What is your wife's name?
Hold on, let me look it up. It's Fatten. Oh, here we go.
What?
Oh.
Really?
Yes. Would I call my wife fat on the air? I mean.
Well, how do you spell it?
Faten.
Fatten.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Fatten.
Fatten. Fatten.
Cute.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she is. Hey, Fatten, how are you?
Yeah. Oh, she said she's listened to another station this morning.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot. Yeah. That's just an unusual name. I've never heard that before.
Right. She was born in Beirut, Lebanon, and so it means beautiful.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
feed her ego.
They said I was beautiful. Why didn't you say it?
Right? You do it, Daniel.
Well, if your anniversary is coming up, maybe you should come to the bridal show.
I already married her. We're good.
Yeah. You can do it again. It's okay.
You can renew your vows.
Come on.
No, just kidding. Of course.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So.
Well, shout outs to her.
Hashtag shout outs. Thank you, Fatten.
That's amazing. Well, but it does take time to get things in order to be able to take care of your child the way you're supposed to. Especially with something like this.
That's right.
So explain to me difference between RBI and ABA.
So I provide ABA services. So RBI is just the name of the company, Reinforced Behavior Interventions. But we're going to be doing ABA. Yeah.
So
I thought I was about to learn something.
I know, right?
There's a lot of acronyms.
Well,
it's like a baseball thing.
And when I get confused, I ask questions. So tell us a little bit about what ABA therapy does and how it actually improves the child's livelihood.
Okay, so it stands for Applied Behavior Analysis. So if we break down the name, if we didn't kind of understand it, so applied. So we're doing something to make an improvement on behaviors that need improvement. Right. So we apply different methods, different teaching, tools. And there's a myriad of things that we do, but it all goes down to reinforcement. It all boils down to that we want to reinforce behaviors that we want to occur more often. Okay. So that's like, you come here because you get a paycheck, so that's your reinforcement. So you wouldn't, if I said, okay, I'm no longer paying you, you're not going to come, right? Most likely. Yeah. Okay. So that's the reinforcement. So we, and that's how kind of the world operates. So we kind of try to get them to understand reinforcement, and so then if we go to behavior, we look at behaviors that can be understood, that we don't look at behaviors that are internal too much, but we want to look at behaviors that we can have an effect on, and we also we look at behaviors that need to be changed. So if y'all are Philadelphia Eagle fans, I might want to change that to the Dallas Cowboys, but it's not a socially important behavior for me to change. Right? So I wouldn't change that just because I wanted to.
Right.
But if it's like, if Dan is like, I don't know, he gets this out of his face in public, okay, that's something that we need to change.
Right.
So hopefully you don't do that, but
Not today.
well, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Today's a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that would be socially important for us to change. So we target behaviors that are in need of change. And then if we look at analysis, that means that we can break down a behavior and understand the antecedent, what was happening before, kind of like what was in the environment, and also rule out, medical reasons that the behavior may be occurring, the reason for that might be occurring. And then we look at the behavior itself, once again looking at the topography, or like how that behavior looks and like how long it takes and things of that nature. And then we look at what is maintaining that behavior, what's making it go up, what's making it go down. So it's called ABC, so antecedent behavior consequence. So we kind of break it down.
So who is a good candidate for ABA therapy?
Anyone and everyone. Yeah, so BCBAs, and I don't do this. I just work mainly with children on autism, and I work with children off the spectrum too, but I work mainly with children. But there's BCBAs that go into workforces, like AT&T might hire BCBA to improve workforce production. Everything. Yes. So because it's all contingent on reinforcement, right? So if if I can get your workers to work faster or harder, or by giving them a different type of reinforcer, then it would behoove them. So there's BCBAs do everything.
Well, let me touch on this as well. BCBAs are very, very hard to come by. And one, the testing is very difficult. So congratulations. Either you cheated or you got it. So, hey.
He's a smart dude. I'm sure he got it.
Either way, it's a win. So, you got it. Two, but I mean, in the Metroplex, there is a huge shortage. Yeah. So, he was mentioning the numbers earlier, but I believe it's 1 in 10 girls is usually diagnosed, and then boys is 1 in 4. Yeah. And then to make it work, so in Johnson County, there are 0, to my knowledge, centers that are offering services. So let's take that number, 1 in 10, 1 in 4. Let's multiply that by how many hundreds of thousands of people are here. Right. And there's no centers. Because it's very difficult to find people. Because like for a startup, they're going to ask, well, why would I want to come to RBI when you're a startup? What's your capital? What's your long-term goals? Yada yada yada. I can go over here. They've been established for 5 years now, and I'm getting a sign-on bonus and blah blah blah. And I understand they have to do what's right for them, but a lot of them have. There's a lot of good people out there that are doing it for the right reasons and not just for monetary gain. Right. So I just want to kind of put that in perspective as well of what the need is, and how it's really impacting the community and people's lives. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah.
I'll give you a man hug later. So.
We won't catch it on video.
Oh, I don't. Hey, I'm a hugger. I'm a crier. I know I don't fit the construction.
I love that. Thank you. That's crazy. So these services that you offer, you're going to be doing in-home visits. So tell us a little bit about when you get into the home. Yeah. How do you determine what they need?
Okay. So that's kind of like my job. So I look at the behaviors, kind of like break it down, and I look at basically do a reinforcement assessment, kind of what works for them, what they want, right? And then we just try to make them understand that their performance or what they do is contingent on reinforcement. Right. So once again, it's kind of hard to get there because it's especially if they're used to getting it whenever they want, right. But now we're asking you to perform or do a behavior on our command, right, for reinforcement. But once we get there, it goes so well. But basically, like what it would look like would be that we might have like a little area in the household, or maybe even at the dining room table, and we would have like a box of materials, all the materials that they need to work on, all their targets and things of that nature. Right. I create a data plan. I individualize each program because every kid on the spectrum is an individual kid. There's a saying, if you met one child with autism, you've met one child with autism.
Absolutely.
You can't,
it's not a one size fits all.
That's
got it.
Absolutely not.
They're all unique.
Yeah, and that it actually makes it difficult, But in terms of like what I do, but we have to look at that individual child. So we program each, for that child to their strength. So if they're audio learner, we do that. They're visual learner, tactile learner. So we kind of like really, target their strengths and use it. And then maybe their weaknesses, we might try to target that strength to bring up their weaknesses. So it's all just. It's individualized, and so then, basically like the session in-home sessions can run between 2 to 3 hours, and then And if depending on how many hours they're getting, I mean, another therapist might come later and then
Right.
give them more hours. But yeah, it's pretty much how it
Now,
was.
do you typically just do one case a day, one child a day, or
No. So no, no. Like I have a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why were you laughing?
No, so I'm just like,
She's like,
no, 'cause I was-
he says, I did 12 yesterday. Right?
no, I'm just thinking. Well, not right now, but I used to work 60 hours a week, and I would work like
Wow.
Saturdays, Sundays. I was working
Right.
7 days a week. My wife wasn't super happy about that, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but she was understanding, and she, you know, she's very supportive.
Right.
But yeah, so basically, you know, yeah, so we work a lot, and I don't know if I can name drop, but there's a center in Plano that I work at. All Behaviors Considered, run by Arch and Dirk and the
You can
BCBA.
name drop, it's
okay.
okay.
Awesome,
Go
thank you.
for it.
But yeah, she's an amazing BCBA also.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has quite a few clients that I mean, and it's their school basically. They're there from like 9 a.m. to about 5,
Right.
and so yeah, so it's therapy's better. ABA therapy is better intensively. So if you think of it like if I was trying to teach you, like, I don't know, let's say if you were addicted to coffee, and I
Okay.
said, okay, you know what, I'm going to get you to
I
stop
think I
drinking
might
coffee.
be.
Okay.
Just
But
kidding.
imagine how hard that would be for you,
Yeah.
right?
Or even
Just-
cigarettes. I mean, how hard is it to stop
Yes,
smoking?
yeah.
Oh God.
So-
it's
so-
so
Oh,
hard.
I only smoke when I'm on fire. So that's
You're the greatest.
Seriously.
rare.
Oh my gosh. But basically, yeah, so that's a really hard behavior to change, right?
Right.
So imagine if I only had 2 hours out of a week to change that behavior.
Right.
How long would that take? It would
Forever.
take a long time.
Right.
But if we did it, 40 hours, like a week, that would, but we probably nail it out pretty fast.
Right.
But yeah, so that's kind of how that works. Yeah.
So when you come into somebody's home, is there an evaluation that you do to begin the therapy?
Yes, yeah. So basically, I do a consultation, and
Okay.
so basically, I listen to the parents' like concerns, and I write all that stuff down. I observe the child in their natural environment and just make notes, and then the first few sessions is just really about pairing, and what that means is that. Because I'm a stranger, and just because they have autism, they look at me as a stranger.
Right.
Any child would be
Yeah.
So I work on just them getting to be comfortable around me. So like my parent would be like if they're into their iPad, I might just be close to them and watch it with them, make comments, whatever, and things of that nature. So just that they get comfortable, and then after that, and then at the same time, I'm probing like different things to see where their strengths and weaknesses are.
Right.
And then after that, then I develop like a intensive like data sheet, and so like we may like run 20 programs, like different things that they may need, and
Right.
things of that nature. So
well, then they'll adjust it as you go.
Yes,
Every
that's
so many, not to tell your business. Also, what he does.
right. Oh, that's great.
Let me
Well,
tell you.
But it changes. That's not a plan. Because
Yes.
if something's not working, they're going to adjust that.
That's right.
To the child's need.
Right.
And maybe they
Exactly
add or
right.
remove.
That's
and
right.
so
But this would you call this long-term care though?
Yes. Well, okay. Well, so it's a lifelong disability.
Right.
Now that there are children that are deemed recovered.
Right.
So basically, in the way I've done it is like I've worked as long as the parents have wanted to work.
Right.
And when they feel like it's time, then that's great. So, and yeah. So basically, like as long as they were needed, is that as long as we'll work.
well, and also the work doesn't stop with him. He provides a plan, but that has to be implemented at the house.
That's right.
And
Good point.
and
Yeah.
consistency is key.
Teamwork. Right.
It makes the dream work, absolutely. So,
So good.
but the other thing is that I get old after like 10 minutes of be hanging out with me, but
Great.
I lost my train of thought. But the thing is, there's a lot of families out there that don't understand they have resources.
Right.
And it is imperative. We have family members that come to me and like, man, I my son-in-law, but he was in denial. I was like, been there, done that. But they don't want to acknowledge, because if I don't acknowledge it, then it's not true. Well, that's not fair to the child.
Right.
The child is the one that needs the support, the love, and the education and reinforcements. But a lot of people don't know what to do, and I would just encourage, go out there and look in your resources, go to, there's a wealth of knowledge on, autismspeaks.org.
Yes, that's right.
And so they have a lot of pages where they can kind of start setting you in the right direction, but, please don't ignore the child. Or if you know someone, sometimes it takes courage, because a lot of people want to mind their business, and they should. But I think there's someone, when you approach it with love, respect, and dignity, sometimes people just need that nudge, and just say, hey, just squash it, whatever. But yeah. proceed with
That's
caution.
interesting. So how do we get more awareness out there about what you offer and how you can help people?
Yeah, so things like this, being, it's, thank you so much for
You're
having
welcome.
me on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like also just being in the community. So every other Thursday at the Waxahachie Sims Library from 5 to 6 p.m. I'm doing a workshop. It's free to attend, and so basically just talking all subjects on autism, anything. And I actually had a little paper that where the parents filled out what they wanted to talk about.
Right.
So that's those things that I'm gonna hit, and
That's important.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so doing that, and but yeah, just really just trying to let everybody know that we're open for business, that we're trying to. Yeah.
Which is crazy. And anyone from Johnson County can come to Waxahachie.
Oh, absolutely.
And go to this
Yes, yeah.
event, right?
For
So
sure.
You said when is that again?
It's every other Thursday. So we had one last night. And Andrea Franzesi, she spoke
Love
on.
Andrea.
Yes.
Yes.
So she's a great advocate for
She's
children.
on here.
Yes.
She's
her and her
joined us
husband.
this morning.
Hey, Andrea.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, her and
son-
her husband Rob. Yes.
Her,
Go ahead.
Rob, and then her son Gabe.
Gabe. Yes.
I have to tell y'all a story about Gabe because he cracks me up. So I took one of their cats. It was, I call him Jagger. His name is Jaeger, but I called him Jagger because it's King Jagger. So anyway, I took Jagger and decided Jagger wanted to live in my barn, but he's now in my house. Yeah. So Gabe brings him
They
to
all
me,
live at her
right? Because Jagger's not very social, so
Okay.
he came to my house to live. So I love this cat, by the way.
Yeah.
So anyway, Gabe brings him to me, and he has no filter. I love him, and he walks into my house, and at the time, I had still had Heidi Klum, which is my Great Dane, who was 10 and a half years old, and she didn't smell pleasant. And he's like, "Hey, your house stinks." And I was like, "Oh my, thanks, Gabe." But it's funny because Andrea's like, "I'm so sorry," and I was like, "No, it's true because I have this stinky dog in my house. It does stink." But it was so funny because he
Yes.
was there's no filter.
That's right.
And but he's so smart.
Yes. He
Such an
is,
intelligent
yes.
young man, and I
He
could
is.
just hang out with him all day long.
Yeah, for sure.
I like people that don't have a filter. So, but Andrea's a dear friend of mine. Her and her
Yes.
husband Robert are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
And
They're
they've
great
done
advocates.
wonders with
Yes.
Gabe. So
That's
I bow down to them. They're incredible. So,
Yeah, they
but,
are.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about. So anyway, you said Andrea was there last night.
Yeah, so she was speaking on first responders and like crisis, moments with children with autism. So that was a great talk, and that was So when she's gonna keep doing that talk and go to police departments, fire departments.
She's going to come on here and do that.
No, that's
Aren't
great.
you, Andrea?
Perfect.
Yes,
Perfect,
thank you.
perfect.
No,
Yes,
no
yeah.
pressure.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I already talked to her. She's fine. But that's important because
Yeah.
you don't know. You don't know
That's
what
right.
these people are going through.
That's
So,
right.
Well, as parents, that's a huge concern for us
Right.
because, if God forbid we're in an accident and I get knocked out and she's hurt and she's conscious
right.
and the first responders come, she's not going to know what to say or do.
That's right.
So, what do you do at that point? There are seatbelts out there that have the little soft padding that says special needs or nonverbal, whatever, or you can put tags. But she removes everything that we've put things in
Right,
place.
right.
They had, a lot of kids with autism. There's very horrifying stories over these years where children have become missing. But even like a GPS bracelet, she'll take it off.
Yeah.
And she, even if she's hurting herself, she will take it off to remove it.
Right.
So there are challenges like that on a constant basis with first responders. What if there's an emergency at the house? Yada yada yada. So there's a lot of opportunities that, like I said, once again, people take for granted, and it's an ignorance. People don't understand. You don't think about it,
Well,
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be educated
and
about
that's okay. That's what we're
what
here.
the signs are to look for. My daughter's type 1 diabetic, and when she goes low, you think she drank too much alcohol, right?
Oh, right.
So she got this huge tattoo on her arm, and then she had to go to the hospital one day, and she's like, "I got this tattoo so everybody would know. It says type 1 diabetic." And the doctor said,
wow.
"We don't look at tattoos anymore. There's too many out there. We don't pay any attention to
Oh,
those."
wow.
Man.
So then again, how are you supposed to let the emergency
Yeah.
care know
Sure.
what your condition is unless you have it labeled somewhere on
That's
your body?
right.
But they don't even look at that anymore. So what
That's
do you do
crazy.
in situations like that?
Man, you just have to educate.
Andrea?
That's right. You have to educate, and that's
Right.
what we're saying. Society moves at a slow pace, but if we can give intensive education to those individuals, to the first responders, and it's not an easy thing because they're heightened. I can't imagine being a police officer and pulling someone over, and they're acting in a suspicious way that you would deem as suspicious because they've been trained to pick up on things, and they're very intuitive about that, and if you have an individual acting. Because I know what to look for. I can see it. I'll be in and you too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're out. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that individual's on the spectrum. But someone that doesn't know, it could look like they're on narcotics. They could look like they're, they're just unstable. they're unstable.
I'm sorry, folks. We can't have nice things. That's Sarah.
My bad.
So basically, so I understand that it's just a heightened awareness. So the thing is that, just to, and I, because it's so tough because children with autism, so like they have sensory issues. So like, the first thing, a first responder might say is like something like brusque, be like, stop, or, something really, like forceful.
Right.
But then that's like, that would kind of set them off. But then, now that's a problem because now if they're acting up, they're like hitting themselves or they're being aggressive because they can be aggressive. They can come towards you. So what's the policeman supposed to do? So the thing is, so basically, if to train them to kind of to look for signs that they may have autism, but to speak in a kind of monotone, just calm tone, like and I would and like I was this Autism Society has this great video, and that's Andrea. It shows this video at her talks, and it's a really great video. But like one responder, he gets low and he's talking calm. He's like, "Hey, what's your name?" Or he's like, "Well, what's your name?" Like like with with that authority voice. Right. But if he's just, "What's your name?" It's a little different. And the things, I would just keep the language simple. Right. Because if you give a lot of language, it goes over their head. But then you're thinking, oh, they're not responding, or they're being
So the key is to be calm and
be calm, and also I would so I would be interested to know how many children with autism actually have ABA as an intervention, because I don't know that number, like what the percentage is. But if there is a large number, I would talk about just maybe saying things like what's your name, like cause that's one of the first things we teach children is like the personal information, because if they are in a situation like that, like they're much likely to be what's their name, what's your mom's name, what's your dad's name, what's your phone number, what's your address. Right. So we hammer away on that. Yes, we hammer away on that and get that nailed down, and just that, and then we want to make sure they can generalize it to anyone that asks them that they can provide that information, because we don't want to have a bad incident, because it's like I said, it's easier said than done, right? And it's a tough situation. So. Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do first responders, do they usually have like a program, like training to...
Yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to start up. Okay. Yeah. I don't think there's an official program. Yeah, and there should be. You're exactly right, Sarah.
Maybe you should go to your local police department and suggest it. Maybe you suggest a seminar.
I have a lot of friends I have a handful of friends whose children are autistic. One of them, they've since moved to Missouri, but he's probably almost 10 now. He's blind. He's severely autistic.
Yes, that's tough.
His thing was Zippo lighters. I know he's 10 and this isn't right, but the clicking. Okay. So he would take the lighter and just do this constantly up by his eye, and there would be no fluid in it, of course. It was just the clicking of the lighter. Yeah. If you lose that lighter, oh my God.
All the world,
It was the end of the world, you know what I mean? And so I felt, because she was a single mom. Yeah. Stacy, she was a single mom. She's amazing. I really don't know how she did it. Right. But this little boy was so bright and so smart, and still, like, you could connect with him. Right. But on his terms. And I really wish they still lived here, because I would want to connect her with right?
Thank you.
So bad.
Yeah.
So because so cool. It was, Yeah.
It's it's a tough situation to be in. I want to continue this conversation, but we need to take a commercial break real fast and pay homage to our advertisers. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with JoCo Community Radio and our amazing guest and continue the conversation. So we'll be right back.
All right, great.
Yeah. Y'all need water, facilities.
Are we off Facebook now? Are we still live?
Well, hold on.
Sorry.
No good.
Do they still have MySpace?
I don't think
Can you
so.
get into your account?
Can you, Daniel? I don't know.
Well, I'm in my space right now.
Are you?
My bubble.
I love it.
Stephen keeps bumping my knee. I'm, getting,
Sorry, I know.
I'm in touch with my feminine side, but this is getting uncomfortable. So.
It's all good. Sarah, you okay over there?
Yep, okay.
Okay, girl.
I'm just waiting for this commercial.
Oh, we can get Andrea to call in.
One.
Yeah, perfect.
We are back on JoCo in the morning with Tiffany Cooch.
Connie Little and our amazing guest. We have Stephen Hernandez with the RBI Therapy Clinic, and then we have Daniel. I'm not going to say your last name.
Oh, come on. I was waiting for it. I was all excited.
Kenticus.
Oh, man.
Did I do it right?
I'm getting emotional over here.
Kenticus.
Wow.
Are you?
With
Yeah.
Honeybee's Roof.
No, it's just my allergies.
Thank
That's okay.
you.
So-
And then we have Sarah Brooks in here talking all about the Cleburne Bridal Fair that's happening Saturday,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
14th, at the Cleburne Conference Center. So,
Come on, come on.
yeah, we're excited. So Daniel's going to go over there and buy him some stuff to renew his wedding vows.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, no,
And,
I just go to the Dollar Tree for that.
Exactly.
Well,
I
what you
did it
could do,
once.
you could come in and sign up and possibly win a bottle of Hell's Half Acre of vodka.
You know
Oh,
what?
wow.
That helps at night. It
There
help-
you go. Yeah. Helps you get a little bit of sleep.
It's called sleep juice.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just halfway kidding. So, yeah.
Just halfway.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we've been having such an intense conversation about children with autism and the work that you do in the community, Stephen, and I commend you for that. So you've been
Absolutely.
doing this for 16 years. That's amazing. Daniel, you have a little girl with autism, and
Absolutely.
you understand the struggles and the trials and tribulations that you have to go through on a daily basis. And, you know, it's not easy. It cannot be easy. I mean, having a healthy child and the trials and tribulations
sure.
that you have to go through compared to having a child with autism. And the spectrums of autism are so, they're so different, right?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
does the spectrum go from 1 to 3? Is that what you said? Or
That's
is it
right. Yeah,
1
the
to-
DSM-5 categorizes it as level 3 through level 1.
Okay.
But in
3
between
being,
that,
3 being
the most severe, and
most
then
severe.
and level 1 being the higher functioning.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, there are individuals, that you hear about like Dan Aykroyd having autism. That he has Asperger's.
never heard
yes.
that.
Yes.
You know what? And,
Yeah.
and sorry to interrupt, but that when we first got diagnosed, that's so interesting that you say that. You're not going to have coffee one day. You're buying.
Right?
I know your pay scale. So, and really, I was depressed. I mean, I was depressed. I was emotional. My wife and I were shocked. I mean, maybe that's a better word, shocked.
Yeah.
For the reality to come in, and after a little while, I was looking at autism, and you're seeing all this stuff out there. It's like they say, if you have a concern, don't Google it. Talk to a professional.
Right.
But I said, you know what? I want to start looking up who are people that were on the spectrum, and so many famous people came up, and it was so encouraging to me. I wanted to look at the positive side of that and say, instead of saying, oh, poor us, poor Maya, poor whatever. Well, what are some other people? So Dan Aykroyd, Einstein.
That's right.
Some people say
Yes.
that Isaac Newton had forms of autism. Steve Jobs.
Mozart.
Mozart.
Yes.
I just said that like I knew that.
You're so smart.
Now, speaking of that, do you watch TV? There's a new show called The Good Doctor.
Okay, so
I want to talk on. I want to talk on that because they're trying to show autism in a different light. I think.
I've only seen. I don't watch a lot of. I do enjoy documentaries, but I don't really have a lot of time for TV. And if it is, it's usually Pinkie Pie or Baby Einstein. So right now we're looking to see what Rainbow Dash does next week. So,
Awesome. It's my
but
favorite one.
right, it's everyone's favorite. So, but no, I've only saw a tidbit of that, and to me, I didn't watch enough to really judge. I just thought it kind of was a Hollywood version of
No, I can totally see
Sure,
that.
but I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I personally cannot speak on that.
My kid,
So don't ask me.
My almost 10-year-old daughter is just fascinated by that show. She loves it.
Really? So what do you think of that, Steve? Have you seen that show? Have you
I've
heard about
watched the first episode.
it? Yeah.
What did you
But yeah, it was great. Yeah, and it definitely just bring any awareness to it, and in a positive.
Yeah.
And that's because there are a lot of positive stories. So we need more positive stories, like you're saying about hope. We
Yeah.
need to give parents hope.
Yeah.
And so that's great. And then have you seen Atypical? Like, and I did watch that series
Mm-hmm.
on Netflix.
My sister has told me to watch
Yeah,
that.
and that's
I have not
a
yet
good
seen
one.
it.
Yeah,
So
but I'm gonna watch The Good Doctor. I do need
Yeah.
to get on that.
Yeah. Because there is a hope.
Yeah,
You know, even,
absolutely.
So depending on the spectrum of what they are,
Mhm.
That fan's going. You hear it?
is that what that is?
I
No,
thought
it's
it was
not
something
on.
else.
No, it's not. Sorry, a squirrel. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I almost
Yeah, I don't know what that
thought it
is. But anyway, based on the spectrum of what the child is, there's always a plan to
Yes.
get them where they need to be
That's
so that
right.
they can be more productive within
Sure.
society.
Absolutely.
And that's what we hope for all of our children, is that we
Yes.
just want them to be productive within society. So
That's right.
with that said, Andrea, if you're listening, Andrea said she could actually call in, and
Awesome.
she's the mother of Gabe.
That's right. Yes.
So, Andrea, if you want to call in, the number is 817-506-7257, and you can give us some pointers
That'd be
on
great.
having a child with autism.
Yes.
You know, in addition to Daniel being over here, Maya's 6, Gabe is 18. Is he 18?
He's 20. I thought.
Is Gabe 20?
I think.
Andrea can call in and
Yeah,
tell
he
us.
might. Yeah.
Andrea,
I think he is.
817-506-7257. If you want to call in and let us know how Gabe's doing, we can give you a few minutes to talk about that. But also, while we're waiting on Andrea to call in, Daniel, I'm pointing at him, so he's looking at me like, oh, I'm in trouble. The Honeybees Roofing, there's a story behind why you named it Honeybees. What is that?
Well, that used to be my street name, so it was,
You're a mess.
you know, yeah. So that's that's in past. Love me for who I am today, not for who I was.
Yeah.
But anyways, well, that's I'm the south side of Burleson. So anyways, no, my wife and I, we actually have honeybees. That we have some hives, and we just love their work ethic. How they operate, how they serve their community, and the value they bring. So it's kind of funny. A couple things. One, like the worker bees, they never sleep.
Yeah.
That fits, right? We
Yeah.
we never sleep.
Yeah.
They're just the way they serve their community. So the way we as a company, we really try to serve and give back,
Right.
and look at things case by case, and while helping our customers. But yeah, so that's where we came up with the name. We actually have 3 hives. So yeah,
It's very cool.
it is. It's
Such a
amazing.
work ethic.
Yeah, I love
Sarah
them.
has a good work ethic over there. She put this bridal show together that's going to happen on the 14th. It's taken her a whole year to put this together.
Holy cow!
And
Right.
that's what you call dedication,
That
right?
is.
That's
Dedication
determination.
and determination to
That's
get it
impressive.
all done. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
impressive
that
to
is.
stick with it and make sure
Yeah.
it's going to go through fruition, and and it'll be successful. She's expecting over 300 people to attend that.
That's beautiful.
So
That's amazing.
That's huge. So
Thank you.
congrats, Sarah. You'll have
Thank
to
you.
call us and give us a follow up on that.
Yeah,
Let us know
for
how it
sure.
worked out,
Yeah.
right?
For sure.
Now, I want to make sure that we get all your information in here. I don't know if Andrea's going to call in or not, but we're going to have her on the show, and she's going to talk about the signs of autism and what you do in an emergency
Perfect.
situation. So I think that'll be a good segment to be a
Yeah.
part of, right? So we want to make sure that all of your information is in, is for the viewers to know about. So Daniel, first and foremost, how do they get in touch with you, and what's your website?
Okay, well, the best way to get in contact is just call me directly at 817-668.
Oh,
There she is.
Oh, great.
hang on, we'll come back to you.
Don't put me on the show again with this guy.
Just got that. Hello, Andrea.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fabulous. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. We have Steven Hernandez in here. I know you're a good friend of his. But we want to give you like 5 minutes because I want you to come in and talk about what happens in emergency situations and how people recognize autism with people. But I want to give you 5 minutes just to kind of preface us on what you're doing and how you're doing it and how that's helping the community.
Okay, so with the first responder type training?
Yes.
Okay, well, the first responder training, the Autism Society down in Austin found a need in the communities that the first responders weren't exactly well-versed in the communication styles of dealing with people on the spectrum. So they kind of took it on themselves to create this fabulous video and training program for all first responders so that they would know how to recognize someone that was on the spectrum and know how to communicate with them and how to de-escalate a situation, whether it be a traffic stop or a house fire or, a medical emergency. It's a fabulous program. I kind of just touch on the overview of it. I'd really love if these organizations, all of our first responders are interested to have Autism Society of Austin come up and do their full training, because it's amazing.
That would be really
So
good.
that would be
So when you get
really
that
great.
organized, you can let us know, and then we can direct people to you. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and if we can, here at JoCo Community Radio, if we can help in any way, shape, form, or fashion, let us know about that.
Yeah, let us know.
Now, also, how old is Gabe?
Gabriel is 20. He will be 21, Connie, in October.
Why did I think he was 18? I don't know why. That's just crazy. He'll be 21 in October. How is he doing today?
He is actually doing really well. We kind of hit a little bit of a low point after he graduated. You know, as I've talked to you and many people, the transition services are non-existent for the most part, and they all fell out from under him whenever he turned 18 and graduated. So he had a chance to meet Stephen and has really hit it off with Stephen. So we're hoping that Gabriel continues with some training and looks into potentially even working in the ABA field. He's also has some other pursuits with culinary interest as well. He's working at a local retirement home. He's working in the kitchen on a volunteer basis. He's coming into his own. He's doing amazing.
That's encouraging.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That is encouraging, isn't it, Daniel? Daniel has a daughter that's 6 that is autistic. So, yeah, that is encouraging.
Absolutely.
Yeah, congrats to him. He is a character. I just love him. And to sit and talk to Gabe,
I've been watching.
he is so smart. I'm just like, I don't feel that smart around him. But he is so smart and so talented. So we wish him all the best. We cannot wait to have both of you come on the show and let us know what's going on with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll definitely do that. Just get in touch with us. And, you know, all I have to say about having a kid on the spectrum is, I mean, as well as you know, this first 6 years, it's a day-by-day, sometimes minute-by-minute battle. It's not so much as we're having a bad day. It's a constant battle, but it does get better, and there are so many joys that come with this that people, I don't think, catch that we do. You know,
Absolutely.
those minor milestones that are just, oh my gosh, he's eating a new food, nobody breathes. Don't look at him.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
do anything. What?
Exactly. We try to. We'll say, "Mom, take a bite," and she'll actually take it and she'll throw it across the room.
Oh, yeah.
But if you set the plate next to her, she will and start eating, and we're like, you know, my wife and I will just kind of like use an undertone word or like, you know, oh, we're good. Oh, don't look, you know, or something, because if you, it is so like. Oh yeah, well, and that's where the independence comes from. Sometimes, like she'll get so mad, she'll ask you to come help put her shirt on. Like if it's inside out, you do it and you try to put it on her, she'll like, oh no, you know, like I got it, and then she'll just take it and she'll throw it like and just go get a different shirt, like, you know, I'll teach you. So
yeah,
but yeah,
it's an adventure. It really is, and. You know, that's one thing that I just have to keep screaming from the rooftops to every Spectrum family out there is you are not alone in this journey. There is a community of us out there, of people like Stephen that are helping us, of other parents that have been there, done that. We're all here for each other. You just have to reach out and connect. So
Absolutely.
That's a good message. Thank you. All right, girl. I'm gonna wrap back up with you and get you on here. We'll coordinate schedules because I think you have an important message to share. So thank you for calling in, and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks, girl.
Have a good day.
All right, you guys have a great day.
You too. Thank you for sharing.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye.
Bye. That was awesome. She called me.
That was nice.
Yeah. So Gabe, we're gonna get Andrea and Gabe on here shortly. So that'll be fun. But we wanted to make sure that we got all of your contact information out there for all of our JoCo Community Radio listeners and viewers here on Facebook and on the TuneIn app. So, Daniel.
Back to Daniel.
So, if you need if we need your services.
Sure. So, and we offer an array of services. And one, even if you even have a current roofer, you know, I'm not that guy. I'm not a seller. Okay, I'm an educator. I will educate you on options, what you have, and there are many cases where customers come to us and like. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think I need a roof, but insurance has denied me twice already. Well, we just went through that last week, and we're re-roofing them on Monday.
Wow.
You know, so, you know, really we're here to help provide options, not just to sell you something.
Right.
So, you know, we do service and we service commercial, residential. We do free roof inspections, as also everyone does. We are insurance specialists, and what that means is we work directly with insurance to make sure that they're paying for everything. I don't know if you know this, but sometimes they forget things. And you know, but another really important thing about our company is we take no money up front. You know, we don't, you know, we do your roof, and when you're happy, and then we get paid, okay?
Wow, that's huge.
Right, because there's a huge stigma in the community. I mean, we did a large church here in Burleson, and the pastor was, you know, when we agreed and did everything, he goes, okay, well, how much do you want up front? And I said, oh, nothing.
Yeah.
Just wait, you know, and he just kind of took a step back and looked at me. I said, yes, sir, that's our name in the community. We are very prideful, and we want to build something to show people that, you know, to remove that. So we're going to educate. We're going to remove all those little pitfalls of what you deal with those contractors running off and whatever.
Right.
We're also we're insured, so we have general liability insurance, and those are important questions. Everything I'm mentioning, I'm not saying come to us, but ask your roofer. Are you insured? Are you part of the Better Business Bureau? How many years, you know, what kind of experiences do you have? Just because we're 2 years in our company doesn't mean I only have 2 years in roofing.
Right.
I've worked with other companies doing things. And also, you know, the references. Don't be afraid to ask for a reference, you know, and I have a sheet ready to go. And, you know, just, hey, here you go. Please do call them. You know, I call my supplier. We're a debt-free organization. That might sound silly, but that just shows that, you know.
That's huge.
Right. Well, and we're preferred contractors with Owens Corning. So we had to go through a strenuous, you know, we had to get reference letters. We had to go through financial health checkups. So there's a lot of great things with our organization that I'm proud of. That's not happened by, it's not by accident. It's for sure, you know, we work towards that. So
That's
beautiful.
fantastic.
So yeah,
Thank you.
my pleasure. So Daniel Penticus, Honeybees Roofing, 817-668-6131.
Fantastic. Thank you.
My
Thank you for
pleasure.
being here
No,
this
thank you for
morning.
having me. I'm
Right.
very, very fun. It's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen. So how do we find you? How do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you go to our website at rbitherapy.com. You can reach us at, oh goodness, I forgot my phone number. It's 469-673-8867. That's our business phone line. And then you can just email us at rbitherapy@yahoo.com.
Okay.
What's your personal cell phone number?
Y'all can connect after we get off the air, right?
You know.
Yeah.
No, well, not like that. Like, hey,
You're right.
you have really pretty brown eyes, Steven.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It is Friday the 13th. It is kind of freaky, right?
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a great day. So, Sarah, and then if anybody wants to come to the Cleveland Conference Center, all those amazing women that are looking to plan their weddings, it's $2 to get in,
Yep.
correct?
Mhm.
It's tomorrow from 12 to 4
Four.
at the Cleveland Conference Center. It's
Cleveland
the,
Conference
and what is the name of the event?
Center. Small town bridal shows.
Small Town Bridal Show.
Awesome.
Love
So
it.
go out there, get your bridal show on, and make it a day. I mean, how much
Sure.
fun is that?
Go to Loaf and Dog. Have a fancy hot dog.
There you
down
go.
to the
Yeah.
convention center.
Take your hot dog and indigestion and have a great time.
No,
Yeah.
Well,
no,
actually-
not from Loaf and Dog.
Oh, not loaf and dog.
They have gluten free.
Oh, do they?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's a healthy
awesome.
dog.
They're
Yeah.
fancy dogs
Yeah.
out
They're
there.
healthy and fancy, and they're delicious.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Very
Well,
good.
actually, I do have a caterer who is providing concessions.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so
So
don't
don't
go
go
looking
to
up.
Go,
And,
go out there and have lunch and
Yeah.
go to the bridal show.
And
There
if
you
you're
go.
a bride, he will give you food for free.
Ah.
Oh, very nice.
What?
Free food
Hey, I'm
if
getting
you're a
married
bride.
again. I need to get my lunch on
We're
tomorrow.
gonna renew our vow.
The only catch is you have to be wearing your wedding dress. So,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
you know.
I think I still have mine, but I don't think I could still get in it.
Yeah,
I will
me
put it that
neither.
way.
So.
You either.
No, well, and that's great. I think you're on the front side of the season, right? I mean, there's like 55,000 weddings in the DFW Metroplex each year.
It's the
or
front side
take.
of the season. It's a little bit late in the season for a bridal show.
But
there.
it's okay. But
Oh, they got
55,000. That's a big number, you know.
That's a big
So
number.
yeah.
And
So
I got married in the fall, so this is about the time I was actually planning my wedding. So when did you get
Well-
married, Stephen? What part of the year was it?
April. I had to think for a second.
April Fools.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
April 19th.
Right.
I think
Now
my
what
wife's
is-
listening,
What
so
is
yeah.
your wife's name?
Elise.
Elise. So you want to give shout outs to Elise?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Eli-
you have children too.
That's
don't you?
right. You have 4 children, and
gosh.
Elise is, yeah, she works really hard. She's helping with the business. So she worked in insurance for years, so she's helping me on the insurance side. So
That's
very, very
genius. You
sharp. I
you
married well.
right.
I
Yeah.
married well. Seriously, very blessed to have her.
And
So
how old are your kids?
8 years old, 6 years old, 2 and 4 months. So,
Oh my goodness.
yes.
And how old is your baby?
Oh, my wife?
No, not.
I'm just trying to get on her good side.
I know, right?
This guy's showing me up over here.
Did you have a little baby?
No, she's 7 months old.
7 months old. So 4 months old and 7 months
Yeah.
old. Oh my goodness. So
Yep.
y'all have little ones at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Absolutely.
As I shake my head.
That's
no.
right. Keep you busy.
Right?
Keep you busy.
Completely planned. You know.
I love how he
Because Daniel has
reiterates how
3,
planned
right?
it was.
So how old is your oldest? 11?
She's 12. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She'll be 12 in May.
It's coming up.
So if you ever need to know anything, you call her. She knows the answer. She knows
know, right?
everything. So,
I have a 10 and 11-year-old daughter.
Do you think that's something
So-
about girls, though, that they just know everything? Sarah, did you
Yeah.
know everything when you were 11, 12 years
Of
old?
course I did.
Of course.
well, it's a funny.
Duh.
Yeah, so we live in a parent beam house, and the door was, kind of jacked a little bit, and I kind of shaved it and fixed it. And then a couple weeks later, all the rains came in, and the house kind of moved a little bit,
Yeah.
and then it wouldn't close all the way. And she goes, "What did you do to my door?" I said, I'm a man. I will tell you. I da da da. The house did this and blah 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 da da da. And then after I explained, I was like, "Yes," And she was like, "No, you did something else. That's not right.
That's all right.
You broke it." And I'm like, "Oh, good day to you. Good day to you, madam." Yeah.
I tell you, kids keep you young. They keep you laughing, that's for sure.
That's right.
You know?
Keep me stressed out.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And
oh.
without them, who would we be today? Right?
Probably feel younger and probably be well rested, have a little more money.
Yeah.
Less wrinkles, less gray hair.
I love my kids.
Gray hair.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
When
My
I,
gray hair.
I love them when they're sleeping.
Aren't they they're so precious when they're asleep? I know my grandson was sick one day, and I was like, "Oh my God, he is the perfect little angel." And then he gets unsick, and you're like, "Oh."
Time to go home.
Yeah.
Get him.
I'll go get him. Yes. Thank you. Well, this has been such a good conversation. Did we cover everything that y'all wanted to cover today?
Yeah.
You think we're good?
Yeah.
Is there
Absolutely.
any other shout outs that y'all want to give to anybody?
No pressure, right? I wanted to thank you for sharing, and I think it's great that we can kind of not play off each other, but identify with each other. And I know there's a lot of people listening out there that are identifying, and I know earlier you were saying you had a handful of friends. Well, I guarantee you know a lot more people. They just haven't vocalized that.
Right.
I'm pretty vocal about it, not for sympathy, not for empathy, but for education.
Yeah.
And I welcome those conversations
Yeah.
because I want people to be aware. It's an epidemic in my eyes. It's growing.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. It's getting to be an epidemic,
And what did you say?
education is key.
One out of every 68 births.
1 out of every 68 births.
That's right.
A child is going to be
And
diagnosed.
Yes.
now this is probably a late question, so we're running out of time. But
Yeah.
did we talk about? Do they get diagnosed? I mean, we don't know until they're about 2 years old, correct?
And one of the reasons is because early on they develop typically, so they may have language, and in a lot of, not all the cases, but I would almost say the majority, like they develop typically, so you wouldn't have no clue. Then they start regressing.
Right.
So, like in your case, it was almost like a light switch, right? It seemed like you could pinpoint
Within months.
Okay, yeah. But some it's slower. So like some. So let's say if they have 50 words in their vocabulary,
Right.
they might go down to 40, and then you're like, okay, what's going on? And then they start regressing in other areas.
And who does the parent call? Do they call their pediatrician?
Yeah. And you'd want to get a pediatrician that is versed in with autism. So
And also, no disrespect to any doctors or pediatricians or specialists out there. If you as a parent,
yeah.
if something doesn't feel right, because we've been there and and we've been told, no, everything's fine. This will grow out of it.
Right.
Challenge it or get a second or third opinion.
Right.
Don't just take it for face value, because if something's not right, and it's our responsibility to squash that and provide resources.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Good
what,
advice.
yeah.
Good advice.
and what I've learned is like mother's intuition is like a real thing.
No,
That's it.
yeah, that
it's
is a real
thing.
right.
So you're exactly right. Yeah, if you have a gut feeling, just go get it checked
Go
out.
get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
go
Yeah.
get.
And I have a big gut, but that's But no, I just want to say thank you to my wife. When the autism and her love and support. I mean, I told her a couple weeks ago she's the glue of the family.
Yeah.
She's really keeping things together. I just want to thank a lot of my supporters out there. We are very blessed. We have so many referrals of people coming in It's amazing what happens when you're honest, you do what you say you're going to do, and you treat people right, and the business keeps coming. But there are some people like Mark Flowers. He's part of one of my networking groups here in Burleson. He is a big proponent of our business. And, Lisa Bolton House, the Harvest House, we're partnered with them as well.
Nice.
So, it's partnerships like that I'm really thankful for. And, and just so many people. But those are some strong names in the community. And I just wanted to say thank you to my grandfather for being my mentor. He's no longer with us, but he is an amazing person, and I am overawed of what a great man he was.
That's
so,
awesome. The legacy you left behind. That's good.
Yes, ma'am.
That's fantastic. So thank y'all so much for being here. And I think, Stephen, what you're doing within the community is commendable. I mean, there's so many people that need your help, obviously. So thank you.
Thank you for coming to Johnson.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah,
sure.
everyone in
For
Johnson
sure.
County, this is good information. So if you got something, if you heard something on here that you want to share with your friends and family, please share this video out with everybody you know.
Because we all know somebody that
Right.
this could affect in a positive way.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And somebody that might be getting married this
Yeah,
soon,
right.
So they're going to get married. They're going to have children.
Yeah.
This is knowledge that people need to carry with them.
That's
so,
right.
That's right.
So we just appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
For coming
You're
on
welcome.
and letting us share you with our audience.
Right. So with that said, it's Friday. It's Friday. Thank God
It's
it's Friday.
Friday.
Thank God it's TGIF means thank God I'm fabulous. So y'all can repeat that, right?
That's right.
So y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we will be back on Monday.
We have Burleson
What
High
is
School
gonna be
coming in with their senior project celebration. So they're going to come in on Monday and share about that. And it's gonna be
Awesome.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
spread the message. I love it. All right. So with that said, we got to get out of here. So
Yeah,
what does
got a
that mean?
minute left.
What does that mean, Tiffany?
means make today better than yesterday.
That's right. So y'all
Look
have,
for the good and have a great day.
y'all have a good one. We'll
Thanks,
see you later.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bridal shows.
Good.
Right.
What a great conversation.
Oh, good to thank you.
Thank you. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna
Yeah.
need
Yeah,
some of those.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
you
My
for you
headphones
guys.
are going to the
So
mail.
we're gonna leave these in here. Is that okay
Yeah,
with you?
absolutely. Yeah,
And then
for
we
sure.
can share them with whoever needs them. And then, awesome information. Yeah, I'm excited that
Appreciate it.
Come
Thank
on
you
with
so
Gabe.
much.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
where's your center going to be?
Probably Red Oak, Waxahachie.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was originally born
Yeah,
in.
so you need to branch out to the Burleson area. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. She